All right, guys, sorry I'm late. Let me make sure the mic is working here. I had issues with the control number I was borrowing since I don't own any Mullen stock. So, unfortunately, I don't have the audio of the call. So we'll sit here and chat and watch Twitter, or maybe one of you guys can let us know what's going on in the meeting, and we can sit here and chat about it. Let me move my chat bar down to the lower monitor here. Yeah, I even called support. Last time I streamed a Mullen shareholder meeting, I also borrowed a control number, and I was able to log in and stream the shareholder meeting without any problem. That was the annual shareholders meeting. So I don't know what happened today. What's up, Anya, Falcon, Trubin Studio, Santiago, Ron, Financial Journey, how you doing? We ran up to 1496 for a second. Now it's coming down. 1420, you guys can see the chart there, 1402. I'm going to guess that they got enough votes. I'm checking Twitter. They are saying approved. Reverse split approved. What is the reverse split? That is going to be announced by the board of directors. It is, from what I understand, up to a 1 for 100. So there will be a follow-on announcement from the company letting us know what the reverse split is going to be. Mexican, what's going on? Cal says, yes, it did pass. Johnny Bravo says, bullshit. Bullshit on the price. I feel you. This was a very bad situation either way. I've been trying not to comment too much on it because I don't have a dog in this hunt. But we went through this in AMC with a lot of the same conversations, right? If you pass a reverse split, then obviously that has some negative sentiment to it and fears that the price is going to get sold off or shorted down after the reverse split. On the other hand, if you get bumped down to the OTC, that also has some concerns for the company being able to raise money. And I was actually, hoping that it would not pass, so we could see a fresh live example of what happens to price when a reverse split is not approved. But it looks like we're not going to get that this time. Korak says he sent me a link on Twitter. All right, let me see. Thank you. All right, they are still talking. Give me a second. I'll put the audio on.
We're going to answer Mr. Gordon's questions. How has the Mullen 5 RS tour been received with the
Sounds kind of tinny.
Which, can I see the rest of that? So I'm going to repeat the question again. How has the Mullen 5 RS tour been received with the nationwide tour? What big things can we expect in 2024? Any updates with manufacturing on Class 1 and Class 3 delivery vans? Okay, good question. The Mullen 5 RS tour was received extremely well. We had a tremendous passenger vehicle as well, which is the B1. The tour ended, and we deemed it to be very successful. As it relates to the question regarding manufacturing of Class 1 and Class 3, we fully intend on meeting all of our projections that we've given previously as it relates to the 2023 manufacturing projections, and we are on target to continue with that into the next quarter. We have a question again we're going to answer from, let me see, where is this? Can you blow that up so I can see it? Okay, question from Daniel here. Why another reverse split? Okay, so we believe that in the event that the company continues to fail to meet the $1 minimum bid price threshold, it stands at the risk of being listed by NASDAQ. So the reverse split, in our opinion, is needed in order to maintain the minimum bid threshold to enable MULN continued listing on NASDAQ. The delisting would adversely affect the liquidity of our common stock, since alternatives such as the bulletin board, OTC markets, and pink sheets are generally considered to be less efficient markets. The issue with a delisting is it would adversely not only affect the company's ability to raise capital in the future to support manufacturing and growth, but more importantly, it would affect the shareholders' ability to transact their securities or limit their ability to do so and diminish the potential for any capital that would come in to assist the company in expanding its business plan. More importantly, a reverse stock split is not being proposed in response to any effect of which we are aware to accumulate shares of our common stock or obtain control of us, nor is it part of a plan by management to recommend a series of similar amendments to the board and our stockholders. It's more in line with compliance and meeting our ability to give our shareholders the best opportunity for growth and success. Okay, Ms. Gardner, the question is, why is the company requesting another reverse split? Where is MULN in the process of manufacturing delivering vehicles? Okay, so the answer to the reverse split was answered previously, and in the process of manufacturing and delivering vehicles, again, as I stated previously, MULN is up to date as far as its projections and manufacturing its products on the commercial level, Class 1 and Class 3 vehicles. It believes it has everything in place to continue with its next quarter projections and manufacturing and subsequent deliveries to customers. Zoom in on additional questions, please. I can see them. You can zoom in, please. Question from Martin Christopher. Says, did you, David Mishry, vote? If so, did you vote yes on the proposal? To answer your question, no, I did not vote. And I chose to abstain from voting as I wanted this to be the shareholders making this decision and not me. So
whose arm did he twist then?
For this particular
over
proposal.
the weekend.
Question from Bernardo Rico. When is the company doing a stock buyback? The company had until December 25th to do up to $25 million in stock buybacks. I believe the company did approximately somewhere in the tune of $7 million in buybacks. Because we're in a what we call a blackout period, our 10K is due on December 29th. We're not allowed to do any stock buybacks or any thing related to purchasing of stocks during the blackout period. We do intend on looking for an opportunity to have our board approve a secondary buyback program that we'll explore going into the new year to enable us to add inventory back into the company.
The issue with the buyback is they need to raise money to support production. So I just have my doubts about how incentivized he is to do.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and unmute.
Spend his cash when he's trying to raise
Hey
cash.
guys, if you guys want to continue listening in, let me know. I'll put everyone else back on mute again.
So, question here.
He's trying to find a question
Last
he
question,
can
I'm
answer.
being told I've gone over the 10 minutes, but I'm going to answer this last question.
Last question.
From Mary Cook. It says, if the RS does not do what you expect, are you will to buy back the stock? The effect of the reverse is to comply with the NASDAQ $1 minimum bid rule requirement. We will do everything in our power to comply, including getting board approval to do a stock buyback if that would support the stock. Again, the company and the board of directors will do everything in its power to support its shareholders and its stock. I want to thank you for your questions.
All right, I think he's done. I'm giving him a couple more seconds here.
There being no other business to conduct at this meeting, on behalf of the board of directors, I declare the special meeting adjourned, and thank you for your attendance.
All right, so what next? We'll expect to see a filing in the next day or so with the share counts of the votes on Prop 1. And we can probably expect in the next day or so to see some 8K from the board letting, well, I don't know it'll be in the next day or so, but I expect it will be relatively quick due to the compliance date, that they will decide on what the reverse split ratio is going to be, and they'll publish that along with the effective date. So keep your eyes on those. There's plenty of people that will tweet them out and share them when those filings come out. Edward had asked, is he going to do more dilution? Edward, all I can tell you is based on looking at the financial statements, I'm going to need to see what their production and delivery numbers are, what their income is for the current quarter, so we can kind of look at what their cash burn is versus the cash that they report for the latest quarter. But what I do know is they have communicated in a recent filing that they have enough cash to last through June of next year, which to me seems to be a very short runway. So just logically speaking, I would expect that there will be a need for more cash. Now, he could do that through loans, which would have been probably very difficult if he was bumped down to the OTC, or he could do it through more dilution. But yeah, I would not be surprised to see another cash raise. I can't tell you for sure, but that would be what I'm betting on. And why do I say that? Because, you know, I'm watching all of the EV companies, and they all are constantly going back to the well, back to the secondary market, back to shareholders or to big pocket folks like Saudi Arabia, and saying, we just produced 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 vehicles. We're still losing money, and we need more cash. And Mullen's not going to have anywhere near that amount of vehicles to offset the amount of money that I expect that they're spending, even if they put out 300, 500, 1,000, 3,000 vehicles. I think that they're going to be experiencing some cash burn for a while. So it would be my expectation that they'll need more money. That's not a knock on Mullen. That's just a fact of life with a startup EV company. Other questions? Mike says he just got his average down to $1 and it just got blown up. Well, on the one hand, you know, people hate it when I explain that companies don't want to go to the OTC because it kind of hamstrings the company in their ability to raise cash. And you know, like he said, it reduces liquidity. What he means is the ability of the stock to trade freely and on a tight spread. I don't know that investors care so much about the liquidity as much as the potential of having it run up to $10 and then drop back down to $1 or $2. So I'm not going to try and defend him on that. But the company is always going to do what's best for the company. And they're going to say that that is doing their fiduciary duty to not go bankrupt. I know in every company I talk about this, that message does not sit well. So not trying to ever defend them. I'm just trying to sit in their shoes for a second. The unfortunate thing is for us as investors, we have to anticipate what the company is going to do, which is to fight going down to the OTC, to fight against going bankrupt. And they will take whatever measures they have to do that. And sometimes we just got to get out of the way for a while. If you love the company, just get out of the way. Let them do what they got to do and then come back in. Danny says the lease on the new building over $220,000 a month. That's more per month on just that than 50 of the vans would bring in. Yeah, I saw that, Danny. And I'm scratching my head, right? They leased this new building. They've fully, I mean, by seeing stuff like that, I'm thinking this is not a company that's planning on going bankrupt. They wouldn't be signing a lease on another building if they're intending to go bankrupt. So they're going to fight tooth and nail, even at shareholders' detriment, to keep going until they can't. But you're going to need to sell a lot of trucks and vans. So knock on wood, I guess. I mean, they're going to need to put up some hella good numbers on both production and deliveries over the next couple quarters. How much performance stock is Mishery awarding himself this time? I don't know, although he does have some of the most egregious CEO awards built into all the filings. He awards himself for, you guys already know, we don't need to beat a dead horse. He awards himself for all sorts of petty little goalposts. It's not just salary and performance bonuses based on EBITDA or something like that. There's all these little goalposts. Do a merger with somebody. Do an acquisition with someone. Come up with a new feature. The new feature that I was laughing that he awarded himself shares over was a feature where the car can collect a cup of water based on solar energy to provide liquid refreshment to the passengers. I was like, really? You got 1 million shares or whatever for that? Go read the filings. I mean, there's all sorts of fun surprises to to see how he has set up all these bonuses for himself. Anya says he awards himself for having a pool party. That was Mr. Harge, Anya. That was Mr. Harge that had the pool party. Mike says, is Mullen now unable to do another reverse split for 2 years? According to how I read it, Mike, I would agree with that. I thought that he was going to go for it in the last one, and he did the 1 for 9 so that he could have one more attempt. So I expect him to, when I say go for it, I mean go big. I expect him to go big on this one, but he surprised me last time. He only did 1 for 9. Maybe he will surprise us again and not do a 1 for 100. Dan Man says, I hate David with a passion. I feel you. I feel you, Dan. Saheb says, GameStop making some nice moves. I got GameStop up on my top screen here, Saheb. It is up 6% on the day, 1830. My best performing stock in my portfolio today is a little penny stock. I have no DD to tell you why to buy it, other than I was picking it up really cheap over the past couple months. So the ticker is CEOs, and it's up 65% today. It's up about 300% from the recent lows. That is a sub, it was a sub 1 penny stock. Every now and then I find a couple of flyers, and I don't even make videos about them because there's nothing good I could tell you about it, and I don't want to be responsible for you losing all your money. I publish them in the Discord, and I say the same thing I just told you. I publish them when I buy them. I say I have nothing good to tell you about this stock other than I have a feeling, and it's looking pretty spicy on the chart, but size your position because you could lose all your money. So CEOS is my winner of the day, up 65% on no news. I've been waiting for many weeks on that one. Are you correct? Says, can it be halted until all concerned have further clarity? Are we talking about Mullen? I don't know that there's any reason for a halt to happen on Mullen, but if it were to hit a limit up, limit down threshold, it could be halted, sure. Anya says, when we're done with the EVs, what are we going to talk about next? So Anya, we're making our way through all of the EVs to the point where I can start covering all of them on a quarterly basis, maybe the profitable ones on a more than quarterly basis, which right now is basically just Tesla. And then we're going to be expanding the coverage, talking about some other value plays as I've been just knocking it out of the park on the value stocks that I've been making videos for you guys on over the last 3 or 4 months. So as I rotate out and take gains on those, I'm going to be looking for some new ones. I'll be making videos on those. And the next sector that I'm going to start covering will be probably NVIDIA and its counterparts. Martin says 1 for 9 was the max last time. Yeah, I think, I don't remember, Martin, if was it 1 for 9 the maximum? I was postulating at one point before they announced the number that he would go for a really high ratio. Mexican says the question on everybody's mind is, where is Lawrence Hard? Lawrence Harge. I've been seeing some tweets from old Mr. Harge that wasn't he saying he was going to take Mullen to court? Mullins? What a fiasco that whole story was. That's what really drew me into the Mullen story. Like I had to watch it every day. It's like a soap opera. What are my thoughts on Lucid? So I have driven the Lucid cars. I've driven Polestar. I've driven Mullen. I've driven Rivians. The Lucid cars are fantastic. The price point is high. The best thing they have going for them is backing from the Saudis. But for a summary on my thoughts on Lucid, watch the video that I put out a couple weeks ago. I don't plan on probably commenting on these other companies more than quarterly, because while it's interesting to talk about press releases and announcements, I'm more analyzing all of these EV plays, as I have for the last couple of years, over a longer time frame than press release of the day. If you're day trading it, press release of the day is a great thing. If you're investing, you need to have a longer term outlook. And my outlook on all of them is, when are they going to be profitable? Because that's about the point that I want to get in EV play. I don't want to be trying to average down through years of dilution, years of cash raise cycles. So that's why I've avoided covering them for the last couple of years and avoided investing in them. But now some of them are getting to the point where maybe in the next year or two, they can. And they're getting to the point where they've been all beaten down. So I have been trading some of them on options recently, not Mullen. Lucid is one that I was most recently trading. I don't have any active trades in them right now, but I'm watching them all every day. So I love the Lucid vehicles. I'm worried about the high price point. And sure would be nice if they had a pickup truck option also. So we'll see. But they're all burning cash. That is a common denominator. I don't love or hate any one company. I think they all have fantastic products. I wish them all success, but the only metric I'm looking at is, do I get in early and risk the company needing more cash and driving the price down? So for me, it's a play of patience on most of these. Martin says, what I don't get is that there's obviously no discussion within the board of directors about taking David from the CEO position. I haven't researched every member of the board, Martin, but I have just seen tweets that he even has family on the board. Is that true? I can't really comment on that. Noriko says, this is crime. There weren't enough votes on Friday, and all of a sudden there are now enough. It is not uncommon for companies where they think that the vote might be close to have a extra proposal to postpone the vote to solicit additional votes. And that's what they did over the weekend. Much like you guys, I'll be looking forward to seeing the vote tabulations to see how close the vote actually was and how many shareholders actually voted. Yeah. I would like to say more, but again, why beat a dead horse? Most of the time, unfortunately, these companies have a way of getting what they want. And that's anyone that's trying to explain that is not trying to be against you. It's that most often the deck is stacked in their favor. They wouldn't even have the vote. The one time that I remember where it was not going their way in recent memory of mine, anyways, the stocks I follow, is back in 2021, late 2021, that second round of dilution that AMC was trying to push through. And they saw the votes coming in, and they saw that they weren't going to have enough yes votes, and they just pulled the vote. But normally, if they think they can swing it, they're gonna keep on reschedule until enough people vote and they get the yes. If you guys can think of one, I was talking to Sam or somebody on a space call a couple weeks ago, and I said, what is a company that voted where shareholders voted against a reverse split? And it went down to the OTC, or they voted against it and the stock rallied. Someone on that call threw out a ticker, and I said I was going to look into it, and now I've forgotten the ticker. So if y'all can recall one in recent memory where shareholders won by defeating a reverse split in a valid vote, throw the ticker in there and we'll pull it up and look at it. Scott says, what's going on with AMC? All good news and not doing anything but going down. Scott, we were talking about that on the recent evening live streams. AMC is raising cash to fix the balance sheet. So that's going to add some downside pressure. They had a negative $1 billion working capital on the balance sheet. They have trimmed that down to only about negative 200 to negative 300 million deficit with the two recent rounds of dilution. And they've also paid off a little bit of the debt. So they're taking steps to fix the balance sheet, which they must do, especially the working capital situation, to minimize any bankruptcy risk. So you have that weighing on the stock. And you have just right now a poor Q4 in terms of box office. We're sitting at 1.4 billion domestic box office. Cinemark needs about 1.8 billion to make a profit. AMC needs about 2.6 billion domestic box office to turn a profit. And 1.4 obviously is a long way from 2.6. So AMC is going to book a loss this quarter. And that's, I think all cinema stocks are going to be under pressure in Q4. Hopefully, Scott, there's a slight pause in any new dilution announcements for AMC, and the price can run up, because I've been buying in this price. My cost average, including the shares that I just got on Friday, is right around today's price. Until I'll probably sell covered calls on them to reduce my basis. But yeah, I'm hoping for a little bit of a run up, and I'm same time worried about more dilution announcements. So not financial advice. It could go either way. And my bet is on no upcoming dilution news in the next few days or weeks. We'll have to see. Mexican says, the video I recommended on your DM has a breakdown of all who are or have been looting Mullen cash, including family. All right. You sent me a DM? Send it to me on Twitter and I'll link it in here for folks. Scott says he bought more today. Good luck to you, Scott. Good luck to us all. He's talking about AMC for anybody dropping in. Trading at 680, up 2%. GameStop is up about 6% today. SPY is up just over 0.5%. Tesla is another one I've been watching all day. It is up very slightly. 254 and change, up 0.4%. All right, any other Mullen questions, guys? I don't want to keep you here, although I love live streaming in the day and chatting about stocks with you guys, but I'm trying to make some money here too. And it's difficult to pay attention to everything I have going on while I'm live streaming. So I'll take a couple more questions if you have them. Otherwise, I'll let y'all go. The reverse split did pass. Stay tuned for some 8Ks from Mullen letting us know what the vote tally is. And at some point soon, we'll find out from the board what they are approving for the split ratio and an effective date. Michael says, can you give us a reason to, what is that? I can't read the word. Oh, a reason to buy? A reason to buy Mullen going forward? Is that what you're asking, Michael? I don't own any right now because I'm more concerned about the risk, Michael. I need to see the next quarterly update from Mullen. So when they announce on the next quarterly update all the financials, what was the revenue? What's the balance sheet look like? How much cash do they have? How much are they burning on the income statement? How much did they raise, if anything, in the last quarter? Then I can make a better assessment. But every quarter that I've been looking at Mullen for the last 2 years, if you've been following my channel, and I don't report on it often because I don't just like to batter people with what everyone says, oh, you're just spreading bad news. I'm not spreading bad news. I'm just reading the financial statements and the filings and seeing a tremendous need for cash. So for me, that was just a stay out of the way play. But I follow it every day. I cover it occasionally because I get asked about it a lot. Again, I want all of these companies to succeed. The very best thing Mullen can do for everybody, for themselves, for you guys that are invested in it, is start cranking out vehicles and pray that there's buyers for them. And I'm not just talking about 300 or 1,000. We need tens of thousands of vehicles going out the door. So that's what I'll be watching for. When I start seeing David saying, we're anticipating next quarter that we're going to deliver 25,000 trucks and vans, then he starts getting my interest. Then I can run some calculations, some projections against the financial statements that we have and make some guesses if it's going to start getting better. So for me personally, to the gentleman that asked the question, that's what I'm waiting on. The day that I think I can tell you I'm ready to buy in, I'm ready to take a chance, I will happily make that video. All right, ladies and gents, thank you for your time. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this on replay and you have other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments after we end the video. For those of you that are here for the first time ever, thank you for joining in. My style of what I always recommend to you guys is, for the bulk of your portfolio, seek out companies that have a long history of increasing increasing revenues and increasing positive earnings. If you're a gambler like me, a speculator, and you like to occasionally trade in companies that have no revenue or negative revenue, they're losing money, those are risky plays, right? The reward, if we're right, if we catch somebody flat-footed, the shorts or whatever, or some good news comes out and the thing spikes, the reward can be outsized, but the risk is still high. So I would always urge you guys to size your risk, size the capital you're giving exposure to in your portfolio on these plays according to the risk. I hate to see people loading up their entire portfolio in one company, no matter which one it is. Pick from any of dozens or hundreds. If they're losing money, that is an inordinate amount of risk for you to be taking. I'm not going to try and talk you out of it, but just be aware that those risks are there and they're real. And when you see people saying, don't invest what you can't afford to lose, really take that to heart. Because on these speculative plays, you can lose it. Our safer bets are more boring, right? But you can sleep at night if the bulk of your portfolio is in a profitable company with a long history of increasing revenues and increasing profits. Thank you so much. I look forward to your questions, and we will see you on the next one.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a kid.